has brought back my 8-year-old self. It's been a gift from God. It's like literally like brought me back to 8 years old, where I used to sit in my room. Trump is toast.
I like that one. That's Trump is toast.
Coming out of this stuff.
This is Robert Mueller.
Robert Mueller putting the squeeze on the president.
One of those.
Just to relieve the stress. You know what I mean?
You ever see a roast so brutal that even the guy's hairpiece looks like it's trying to flee? Well, that's exactly what happened when Jim Carrey decided he was done holding back. He torched Donald Trump by exposing Trump live on TV, and Trump threw flames everywhere. Meanwhile, Trump is somewhere in Mar-a-Lago, rage tweeting on Truth Social in all caps, calling Carrey a washed-up clown, which, let's be honest, is ironic coming from a guy who ran the country like a circus act. But here's the real question. Why did Jim Carrey go so hard? Why does Trump act the way he does? And why is Carrey the perfect guy to expose him? Buckle up, because this is about to get messy.
Remember, I said, well, do you want to get rid of oil and gas? Is that, yeah, well, we want to phase it out. I said, thank you, Texas, are you watching? Pennsylvania, Oklahoma.
First, let's talk about Jim Carrey. The man is a comedy legend. From Ace Ventura to The Truman Show, he's spent his entire career making people laugh and lately making politicians very uncomfortable. But Carrey isn't just a comedian. The guy is a walking tornado of facial expressions, unpredictable energy, and straight-up chaos. He doesn't just act in movies, he inhabits them. And when it comes to roasting politicians, he's not exactly new to the game. For years, Carrey has been one of Trump's most vocal critics, turning his social media into a full-on art gallery of anti-Trump cartoons. He's drawn Trump as a swamp creature, a bloated baby, even a corrupt dictator. If Trump had a nickel for every time Carrey clowned him, he'd probably use it to not pay taxes. And Trump hates that, because if there's one thing Donald J. Trump cannot handle, it's being laughed at. His entire identity is built on being the biggest, smartest, richest guy in the room. And yet, Jim Carrey just turned him into the punchline of the year, and this is where things get crazy. You see, Trump doesn't just want attention. He craves it like a man who thinks mirrors are his only true friends. His entire life has been a high-stakes PR campaign, plastering his name on skyscrapers, casinos, and even steaks, as if branding a piece of meat somehow makes it taste more presidential. And when he doesn't get the admiration he thinks he deserves? Oh, it's meltdown time. This is the same guy who threw a fit because Forbes didn't rank him as high as he wanted on their billionaire list. The man is so obsessed with looking powerful that he once literally drew a hurricane path on a map with a Sharpie just to prove he was right. So when Jim Carrey, a comedian, clowned him in front of millions, that must have stung worse than his hair dye running in the rain.
Trump was always a president that actually, had the worst tribulations our country has ever faced and brought us together. Now, the opposite is happening right now. We have a president who started out when the country was together and had a wonderful leader, and he is tearing us limb from limb,
Well,
destroying every institution.
let's talk about this Donald Trump, even though we don't want to. Let's bring it on the panel for this.
He's a car salesman. He's a used
con
car
man,
salesman.
absolutely.
And he's, he didn't make America great again, but he did turn back the odometer.
Yeah.
So who knows what the hell is wrong with us?
But
Now, let's get into the moment that broke the internet. Jim Carrey didn't just roast Trump, he slow-cooked him on low heat, seasoned with sarcasm, and served him on a silver platter. Carrey took the stage and went full method actor, flipping between Ace Ventura-level energy and the deep, philosophical guy who paints political cartoons in his spare time. At one point, he called Trump a human spray tan machine with Wi-Fi, and the crowd lost it.
Have a big door. We want to have a big, beautiful door right in the middle of that wall, and we want those people to come in. They've got to do it through a legal process. If we don't have a border, and we have people all over this country, we have no idea where they're coming from.
All right, but let's pause for a second. Why is Donald Trump like this? Why does he always have to clap back even when it makes him look worse? The answer is simple: ego. Trump operates like a guy who just has to win every argument, even if he's arguing with a brick wall. The man has the thinnest skin of any billionaire in history. He can't handle being criticized, which is why he spends so much time attacking late-night hosts, journalists, and now Jim Carrey.
Since you're attacking us, can you give us a question? Mr. President-elect.
Go ahead.
Mr. President-elect, since you are attacking our news organization, can you give us a chance?
Your organization
You are
is
attacking our news organization.
Your organization
Can you give us a
is
chance to ask a question, sir?
Go ahead.
Sir.
Think about it. Most former presidents retire, write books, do charity work, and, I don't know, enjoy life. But Trump's still out here picking Twitter fights like a high schooler who just found out they weren't invited to prom. It all goes back to his obsession with image. Trump doesn't just want power, he wants praise. He needs to be the center of attention, and when he's not, he spirals. That's why he cannot ignore Jim Carrey. The moment someone makes him look foolish, he has to respond, even if it makes him look worse.
This case of narcissistic personality disorder, we've all talked about it since you've been on the public scene. But we see it in real time. Somebody really unraveling, spiraling toward madness.
So I'm an asshole? Is that what you're trying
No,
to
no, no. We're talking
you're not.
There was a tape of him talking to Bob Woodward, right? We heard that this week. At the end of it, he gets a little frustrated and he says, well, accurate is that nobody's ever done a better job than I'm doing as president. He says, how can you...
Job of what? Job of what? Demolition Man?
Right.
There's nothing left. That lot is clear.
Trump walks into every room like he owns it, chest puffed out, waiting for the applause he thinks he deserves. If it doesn't come, he makes sure to remind everyone how amazing he is, whether it's true or not. Facts don't matter when he can just make up a better story. Lost an election? It was stolen. Bad poll numbers? Fake news? Called out on a lie? The media is out to get him. He's the main character in a never-ending drama where he's always the hero, the victim, and the genius. Sometimes all at once. But for someone who loves loyalty, he sure has a habit of throwing people under the bus. If you're useful, he sings your praises. The second you're not, he calls you a loser, a traitor, or worse. Friends, staff, even his own lawyers. No one is safe. And don't even think about criticizing him unless you want an unhinged rant with your name on it.
This whole thing has brought back my 8-year-old self. It's been a gift from God. It's like literally like brought me back to 8 years old where I used to sit in my room. Trump is toast.
I like that one. That's
Trump is toast. Yeah. Yeah, man.
And so you just kind of digest the news of the
It's
day.
an affirmation.
I'm glad some good is coming out of this stuff. This is Robert Mueller.
Robert Mueller putting the squeeze on the president. Just to relieve the stress. You know what I mean? This is stress reliever.
And here we have...
That's Space Force.
That's the Space Force, yeah.
That's the beginning of Space Force.
See, Trump thinks he's good at insults, but he's dealing with a guy who made a career out of roasting himself. Jim Carrey isn't just some Hollywood celebrity taking cheap shots. He's been politically outspoken for years. He's clowned politicians from both parties, but his obsession with Trump? Oh, that's personal. For Carrey, Trump represents everything he hates. Corruption, greed, unchecked ego. He doesn't just joke about Trump, he paints him, literally. His political cartoons aren't just satire, they're rage on a canvas. They expose Trump as a con artist wrapped in a layer of spray tan so thick it probably has its own gravitational pull. Carrey treats Trump like a walking cartoon character, which, let's be honest, isn't far off. The only difference is, in a real cartoon, the villain at least pretends to be competent.
A couple of weeks ago, he gave himself an A+. You saw that? Even if you thought these things, to say them out loud as often as he does about himself.
That's his trick, right? I mean, he kind of says these things that are so outrageous over and over and over again until eventually people think that there must be something there, right? That even if it's not, even if he's not worth $10 billion, he must be worth like $1 billion as opposed to, a few million, or as opposed to being in debt a few million, right?
He reported 100 and he was worth 5.
Right.
So that's the ratio of truth to bullshit with Trump. Basically, anything he says is 20 to 1. Okay? It's 20 to 1, man.
But when you have the disorder, like when I was saying.
Now, let's talk about Jim Carrey. Why is he the perfect guy to expose Trump? Because Trump hates people who don't take him seriously. And Jim Carrey? The man has made a career out of exposing the absurd. He can dismantle an entire persona with just a facial expression. Remember The Mask? Liar, Liar? Bruce Almighty? Carrey has spent decades mocking people who think they have all the power. He thrives on chaos. And Trump? Oh, Trump is walking chaos.
Friends, etc.?
I did. I drew pictures of my teacher.
Oh, really?
And I don't have any of those with me. She actually stole. Wow, look at this! I can do anything with it. Working? Not working. Oh, they got you coming and going, man. You know what I mean? You try and you try and you give it all. You give it all to them.
That is remarkable, I have to say.
Incredible transformation.
It is an incredible transformation.
But here's the best part. Carrey doesn't just mock Trump, he dissects him. He strips away the fake billionaire bravado, the tough guy act, the orange armor. and reveals what's underneath. A guy who really, really wants to be loved, but can't handle when people see through him.
Hello? Hello? I don't think so. Hello? Is that better? Is that better? That's terrible. Is that better back there? Was that yes or no? What crap. The only thing I asked for is a mic. You don't have to give me, I don't even need a stage. I don't give a damn. Give me a good mic, and I went through 2 of these today. And it knocks the hell out of your throat. But so far,
What happened next is absolutely shocking. Of course, Trump couldn't just let it go. He went full 3 a.m. meltdown mode, firing off a Truth Social rant about how Jim Carrey is a washed-up loser who was never funny to begin with. Oh, really? Because last time I checked, Jim Carrey made Dumb and Dumber while you made America dumber.
Sir,
Go ahead.
Sir, can
Quiet,
you state,
quiet.
Mr. President-elect,
Go ahead.
can you state
She's asking
categorically,
a question.
Mr.
Don't be rude.
President-elect, can you give us a question?
Don't be
You're
rude.
attacking us. Can you give us a question?
Don't be rude.
Can you
No, I'm
give
not
us a
going to give you a
question?
question.
Can
I'm
you-
not going to give you a
Can
question.
you state categorically?
You are fake news.
Sir,
Go ahead.
can you state categorically that nobody... No, Mr. President-elect, that's not
Go ahead.
appropriate.
Then came the classic Trump insult generator. He called Carrey low-energy rubberface, okay? And accused him of being part of Hollywood's woke disaster, and even suggested the mask was overrated. Bro, you cannot win a fight with a comedian, especially not Jim Carrey. The man has been clowning people for decades. This is what he does. And the internet had a field day.
Of his day, its worst evils: hatred of immigrants, contempt for the truth, greed, and the abuse of power. We are fighting those same evils today. In America, in the United Kingdom, across the globe. And we need to be clear, shamelessness is not and will never be a superpower.
The internet chose a side, and let's just say it wasn't Trump's. So who do you think won this round? Was Jim Carrey just saying what we've all been thinking? Or is Trump about to come back swinging with one of his signature rants about Hollywood elites? Let me know in the comments, and hey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more breakdowns of the internet's wildest moments. Because trust me, this story, it ain't over yet.